Got a lot of ground today, but I think there's one more thing. Yes, one more thing. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the most successful film franchise of all time. Over 17 years, Marvel Studios has 37 movies that have brought in nearly $33 billion at the global box office. This year, the crown jewel, or should I say the Infinity Gauntlet of the franchise, the Avengers series, returns to the big screen. The clock is literally ticking down to December 18, when Avengers Doomsday hits cinemas everywhere. And our goal is to do it bigger than ever before. To help us do that, we're assembling the best auditoriums around the world as we proudly introduce Infinity Vision.
Well, hello, welcome back to the channel, and in this video you're going to see parts of the CinemaCon presentation from Disney which involved Avengers Doomsday. I can't release the full presentation. I took the highlights, a few minutes worth of footage to put in here for you, and I'm also going to give you my full description and reaction to the trailer which we watched twice. Before I play the footage of Robert Downey Jr. joining the Russo brothers who joined Kevin Feige on stage at CinemaCon, I first have to say thank you. Thank you so much to every single person who has supported this channel and gotten me to the point today, which if you've been following for a while, you probably know why this is such an awesome full circle moment. I just refreshed my phone, YouTube Studio, and I saw we surpassed 100,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much. I hope you'll enjoy this video. I hope you'll go check out the Mandalorian and Grogu set visit I did. And I'll have more from CinemaCon. I will have Ask BD releasing on the Brandon Davis Show on Patreon this Friday, and the video and podcast version of it will release on Monday. You can submit your questions to thebrandondavisshow@gmail.com. And I'm thrilled to continue rolling out Daredevil Born Again Season 2 interviews right here on the channel and more beyond that. But right now it's about Avengers Doomsday. I just know we have a pretty big audience here for this one, I'm sure. I had to plug a few other things on the channel if you're new to it. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around after you watch this footage of Downey, Anthony and Joe, and Kevin Feige at CinemaCon. I'm going to share my thoughts on it, and then I'll show what happened after they showed the trailer when I was able to form these thoughts, and we'll wrap it up. So, see you in a sec.
It's been a heck of a week, right? It's been a good week. I've been following along and seeing all the awesome movies being announced that I'm going to go see in your theaters. There was one at the beginning of the week, do you remember that was called Spider-Man Brand New Day? We're excited for that one. We're very excited for that one again in July with our friends at Sony. We're excited because to us, it's all about the theatrical experience. And in the lead up to Doomsday, we're thrilled to bring Avengers Endgame back to theaters this September as an Infinity Vision release. Reliving the unmatched collective experience of seeing this movie in a theater with an audience. Endgame is one of our biggest, most emotional movies, and we have a whole new in-theater experience for fans with never-before-seen footage and a few new surprises. Now, Avengers Doomsday picks up where Endgame left off, but it also goes all the way back to the original X-Men, finally, bringing the crossover event that fans have been waiting for with Avengers and the X-Men together on the screen for the very first time. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony and Joe Russo.
Hello, everybody.
Hey there.
Victor Von Doom is the greatest Marvel villain of all time. Yes, he is greater than Thanos, but he's not simply a villain. He's one of the most complex Marvel characters. He's a scientist, a technologist, a genius, a magician, and he's always 3 moves ahead of even the most brilliant heroes, which is what makes him virtually unbeatable. Now, there's only one person on the planet Earth who could take a character as complex as Dr. Doom and breathe the kind of life into him that could become a landmark cinematic event.
I did have to mute this part of the video, but I thought you'd want to see Robert Downey Jr. walking into CinemaCon through the crowd. He did this once before when he was playing Tony Stark. He entered Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con with one of the Iron Man hands on his hand. He was full Tony Stark. I mean, the guy's a showman. He's clearly, look at the shaking theater owners' hands and stuff. It was a pretty fun entrance. I just had to mute it because there was music playing and YouTube would have struck it.
Reuniting with this amazing team after such a glorious run of success and creative joy. let alone as a new character, the Doctor, Victor Von, look, he's right here. Wildly epic, to say the least. And you know what I want to do? What I want to do is give away like 37,000 spoilers right now. Should I, just for fun? But wait, hold, let's circle up, guys. Let me just check. Let's get a little bit. Okay. How about instead of that, I just show you some footage, some stuff that no one has yet seen. I think that's a fair compromise, and this can only be known as the trailer of Doom.
It was quite an epic rollout. Being in that room, you could just feel the excitement. And there was some pretty remarkable stuff shown at CinemaCon this year. Dune Part 3 looks absolutely amazing. The Thomas Crown Affair from Amazon MGM looks great. Spider-Man Brand New Day rolled out some safe footage, but it showed the emotional weight that the MCU is bringing with that one during the Sony presentation on Monday. Spider-Verse was awesome. Whalefall, my goodness gracious. That Ask BD episode that's going to be on the Brandon Davis show, I'm going to cover all of that. But this is about Avengers Doomsday specifically, so we're going to stick to the topic here. But first, it's kind of Avengers Doomsday related. You heard Kevin Feige say Avengers Doomsday picks up where Endgame left off, which I think is a smart move. The whole world watched Endgame. We all will know where we are, what's happening when we check into the movie. But also they're re-releasing Endgame in September as part of the Infinity Vision thing, which sounds like an opportunity in a way for fans to discover the best and highest quality, highest rated screens to watch a movie on, maybe the biggest screens. I'm not entirely clear on what it is. I read through an email about it. I listened to everything Kevin and the team there said at CinemaCon. Not entirely sure, but it sounds like a system to find the best screen available, the biggest screen available to watch your movies like Avengers Doomsday. And I don't think it's going to be limited to Marvel. I think Marvel Studios is just helping roll it out. But Avengers Endgame going back to theaters is something that's going to include surprises. I do think that means Avengers Endgame is going to have a credit scene, which it didn't have the first time around. I think we might see something with Victor Von Doom, maybe Steve Rogers. It could be anything, but I definitely think Avengers Endgame, or maybe there's just parts of it that are expanded upon mid-movie. Maybe they shot a couple things in Doomsday that they're going to insert into Endgame to make the experience something that is new and exciting after it's been 7 years since Endgame. It'll be fun to watch that movie again. I haven't watched it in a little while. But I think the fact that they're already confirming there will be additional surprises tacked on to the re-release of Endgame gives us a reason to go back as Marvel fans, as people who like going to the movies and buy a ticket to go see it. I'm curious to see what they put there. Now, the Avengers Doomsday trailer. I've got my notes here. I've got my Twitter account here on my phone because I wanted to make sure I get all of this right. I tweeted a full description. I'm just going to add on to that in real time here. And my goodness, the way we all yelled out, play it again, which they did. We'll get to that in the footage that's about to come up here. I want to get the full description so I don't miss anything because I wrote this down so fast. It opened on Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. The sign is in the ground like we've seen in previous teasers. But then you see Xavier looking up through a window. You see in the reflection of the window what looks like maybe meteors or some sort of fiery crash down coming from the sky. And Xavier actually looked kind of scared. He did look a little scared. And we hear a voice say, something's coming, something we may not be able to deter, and it had a little bit of an accent. Pretty sure that was Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom, talking with Romanian, Latvian accent. Can't say for sure, but that dialogue did lead to a shot of Doom, maybe in like an ashy location. I can't really say if it was something that got fully destroyed or whatnot, but he's there like kind of hunched over, and he stands up, and it's the first time we see Doom, and that was the first time the theater really kind of went nuts for the trailer. It was really cool. I mean, other than it starting. And then Doom is presumably the one narrating this, slight accent and all, and we see him start to rise. In another setting, hood and mask on. Yes, we see the mask multiple times in this trailer. We see the green hood. It's not just Fantastic Four First Steps where you see the hood from the back. We saw the mask. It looked sick. Bit shiny, bit metallic, obviously metallic. Good, like there was like a lot of different pieces on it to texturize it, I'd say. We saw the new Avengers Tower in New York City. I'm pretty sure that's what we saw, which I don't know why it's not in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 looking this way, because I'm pretty sure in Episode 1 of Season 2 we saw Avengers Tower, but it looks very different, like structurally. Not just the fact that they have the giant A logo that the new Avengers adopted, but because, well, I guess that post-credit scene was pretty far in the future in Fantastic Four. So maybe this is further out than where we're at in Daredevil. But it's kind of rounded out at the top now. It has 3 big triangular curved spires emerging from the top. And I'm a big Avengers Tower nerd. I like keeping up with that. The Fantastic Four meet Bucky, Ant-Man, and Sam Wilson's Captain America, and more characters in that building. It was happening so fast. I wrote this as quick as I could. I don't know everybody who was in that, but we see the Fantastic Four meet them in that building, or presumably in that building. And the new Avengers were there too. The Red Guardian and all of them were there too. This is all set to eventually get set to Thor telling a cautionary tale, it sounds like. And I wrote down as much of it as word for word as I could get. I have fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than any of us combined, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. That's kind of a pretty intimidating line of dialogue there. I'm assuming he's referencing Infinity War and Endgame and stuff, and saying Doctor Doom is more intimidating, and he's more afraid of Doctor Doom than he was of Thanos, because that is also something Joe Russo said at the introduction there. He pointed out that Doctor Doom is even scarier than Thanos and anyone else in the MCU. And he went on to say, everything that they sacrifice will be for nothing if we do not stand together. I said we in the tweet. He said they in the footage. That's a typo on my part. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters, but mark my words. And there was a couple things I missed there, but I put ... And it ends with, we're going to need a miracle. Now that is set to this footage that I'm about to describe to you. Cyclops is seen in a new shot, full classic blue and yellow gear. I think that was in the remains of a broken down, darkened X-Mansion. At the top of the stairs there, we see Shang-Chi and Gambit fighting. Those are my 2 favorite characters in the MCU post-Endgame. They're both Multiverse Saga introductions. Channing Tatum and Simu Liu getting to go toe-to-toe. It was sick. I mean, they were both using their powers. We saw Gambit's purple cards were really standing out because it was a very dark setting. The 10 rings were it was sick. And then eventually we see Gambit use his staff to create a blast on the floor. It was a pretty dope scene. And that got a pop too. The Fantastic Four, they meet Wakandans, and this looked like it was probably the footage we saw in those teasers that got released. But it was kind of an open desert area it was walled in the back. This wasn't in that footage that I could tell. Maybe it was one of those, let's trick them with the footage situations and mislead people so they keep guessing. And maybe this is a fake out too. But we see the Fantastic Four meeting Wakandans in like a desert type of ground, but in the distance, there's walls of water as if it's being held off. It's not naturally there. It's not a cliff holding. They are beneath the surface level, and the water is being pushed out by somebody's powers. Maybe it's Sue Storm creating some kind of crazy bubble around them, but I don't think so, though. It was more like what we saw with Doctor Strange when he pushed the water out at Avengers HQ in Endgame. It's kind of like reminded me of that. And the Fantastic Four have really cool new suits. They're much less 60s looking, much more sleek, and a bit more designed, honestly. There's more to them, and I thought they looked great. I loved the new suit designs for the Fantastic Four. There's also scenes of like Johnny hugging somebody looking sad, a lot of people hugging and embracing as if they're about to die. Maybe an incursion was happening, and these were just people bracing for their own deaths as universes collide. I wouldn't be shocked if that's what we just saw. Can't say for sure, that's just a theory, though. Yelena marches past Reed Richards, he's like poking his head around a corner, kind of looking a little nervous and scared. And Yelena marches past him, and then she gets in the frame, and Yelena's face turns to Mystique. That's sick. It was pretty cool. And then we see Yelena fighting Yelena. I'm pretty sure that's what we saw there. I also saw, I didn't catch this, but Cassie Lang was in the trailer. We saw Scott Lang, Ant-Man, give his daughter like a kiss on the head, which brings you Catherine Newton into the movie. As Thor's speech is going, we hear it ramp up, and we see him in another location, possibly the same location we saw Dr. Doom from in the open of this trailer, throwing Stormbreaker at Dr. Doom, certainly aiming for the head. I mean, it was that same move he did to Thanos where he threw Stormbreaker and it went into Thanos' chest. That man aimed for the head, but Dr. Doom put a hand up and caught that thing with one hand. He caught it with one hand, and Thor comes down and tries to push it, but he just looks scared because he can't get this Stormbreaker axe to hit Dr. Doom. And yes, it was Stormbreaker, not Mjolnir. I'm pretty sure Mjolnir was seen in the trailer earlier, but he's using Stormbreaker when he's fighting in this trailer. And that is where it concludes with the Thor dialogue saying, we need a miracle, which brings us to the Fantastic Four's ship, where Thor's aboard the ship, which is crazy because that's reminiscent of Thor being aboard the Guardians of the Galaxy ship in Infinity War and being the bridge to these characters meeting the Avengers and stuff. But Steve Rogers is on that ship. We hear, "Hey, pal." And I thought it was Tony Stark at first because Thor's reaction and expression, he literally says, "Impossible." But then we cut up and it's Steve Rogers. He's got long hair, a little bit of a beard. He's dressed very casually. He's not in the Captain America suit. And he puts his hand out and he pulls Stormbreaker to him, as if to say, yes, it's really me, the Steve who was worthy of your hammer before, so I'm proving to you now because you know no one else could do this. And he grins. And it's almost like this, say, I'm here to help. And maybe I'm the help you need, or I have the information you need on how to help and how to fix this. It was pretty electrifying. I'm not going to lie. CinemaCon was... the footage that we saw this week was great. There was a lot of really great footage. It was just the energy in the room. There was no footage that prompted this energy in the room. It turned everyone into a fan. Everybody there is professional. There are movie theater owners and staff. They're on the lower level. There are media, there are content creators, there are influencers, and I know influencers have a reputation for yelling and getting excited at these sort of screening events. But when the footage ended, I yelled out, "Play it again." And then everyone else did too. And I don't even know if I was first. I just yelled, "Play it again." And everyone yelled, "Play it again," and you'll see in this next bit of footage what followed that. Play it again! One more time!
Kevin is the architect and the brothers Russo are the interior designers, then we must admit that the heart of this home, the reason we are really all here, is the centerpiece, the kitchen sink, the kitchen island, the first Avenger, Captain America, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans. Hey pal. Things are still a little tense.
You know, I said I would only come back if there was a real reason. And in Doomsday, there is a very real reason that these heroes need Steve Rogers. Now, we fought together. We fought against each other. Sometimes on the same team. But this guy, you've made it. This guy, I love you, Downey, but this guy, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Them's fighting words.
Oh, I
Doing this again?
Are they really?
Really?
Keep it on the set, guys. Keep it on the set.
All right.
Keep it on the set. Moving along.
It's just a movie.
Listen, it's a movie.
Or is it?
The clock is ticking.
Should we show the trailer again?
That wasn't planned.
Can we? Anybody? Can we show that trailer again?
We'll give it 10 seconds.
You want to
as the
see
lights
it?
go down.
I mean, I think if you cheer loud enough, they may show the trailer. Go ahead. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, you've only been here 16 hours. Let's play it again.
Here we go.
All right, thank you everybody so much for being here. I'm going to have more from CinemaCon on the channel. I really hope you'll subscribe. I cannot believe we're over 100,000 here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this ride with me. Thank you for supporting the Brandon Davis Show. Thank you for supporting Phase Hero. We're just at the beginning of this, everybody. Avengers Doomsday is coming up, and I promise you, one way or another, I'm going to do a full screening. I hope the Russo brothers or some special guest will come out, but I'm going to do a screening where people who are supporting the Brandon Davis Show, who have been a part of this channel, and want to watch the movie with like-minded fans, we'll pick a city, we'll find a place to do it, whatever works. Maybe it'll be LA if we have a guest, but I'll do it anywhere in the world I can because that's part of why I do this. This screening of the trailer just now reminded me why I do this. It was so exciting to be in a room with people who were that excited to see something that Disney knew what they had. They saved it for last. They teased it. And everyone there just knew we were all here for Doomsday. We're all here to see this footage. We all know we're going to go talk about it. We all know this is going to be the most engaged with content we make. But I've just Marvel, and I mean, The Walking Dead and DC and Star Wars were big parts of this, and Game of Thrones. But I think everybody knows Marvel has been one of the things that really gave me opportunities to be a part of discourse, to guide discourse, to do it authentically, and meet the people who bring these films to life and have them on my channel. And back when I worked at comicbook.com, I got to attend my first Marvel junket. It was Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War. This, I don't know, I'm getting a little, what am I think Cody said, I don't want to wax poetic. Cody Rose, when I had him on the channel recently, I don't want to wax poetic about this, but it feels full circle that my channel hit 100,000 subscribers. Guys, we're growing this thing. We're taking it to the moon, and I got to be here for this. I don't have an outlet. I'm doing it on my own, and the fact that you're here helping me, being excited with me, leaving comments, hitting the hype button, which is a new thing that helps channels about my size grow, it means the world. Thank you so much for being on this journey. I cannot wait to talk about Avengers Doomsday. Let me know what questions you have about the footage. I will be active in the comment section, as active as I can be. I might not respond right away. I'm in Las Vegas for CinemaCon. CinemaCon is over. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to get out there and celebrate a little bit. Go check out the Mandalorian and Grogu set visit if you want to watch some more cool stuff. And I promise after you watch that, just know I bought a Steadicam. So the next time something as awesome as that happens, the footage will be even better. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm wrapping this up. I'm very excited, very grateful. And I cannot believe the feeling I have right now from that trailer, from this channel, from all of you. And, yeah, I yapped. If you're still here, you're really a friend of the show. Thank you. See you in the next one, everybody. Please subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. Bye. Wow.